Rolling.
What, like for real?
Yeah.
Like, really? He always threatens to do that, but he never does.
All the episodes in one company.
Okay, we have some quiet, please. Good evening, guys. My name is Stuart from Marshall Music. And on the show this week, I have with me a beautiful woman by the name of Zia Alter, who happened to be in a little band called Clout, who sold, correct me if I'm wrong, 10, 15 million.
Yeah, it's probably about 14, 15 million. But
15 million albums. Zia Alter, thank you for joining us.
hi, Stu.
She's a like I said, an amazing person, songwriter, poet, motivational speaker. Thank you for joining us. It's really awesome to have you.
It's a pleasure.
How long have we known each other? I think I met you in 2006 or 5.
Yes, I was staying at
Okay.
Ingi's house and you came
Yes.
there to do something
Yeah,
and we connected immediately,
yeah,
which was very good.
yeah.
I like nice people
Why do you like me then?
because you're nice. I know you pretend to be a hard ass, but you're not.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for giving up your valuable time to talk to me.
course.
We're going to talk about all sorts of nice things.
I love it.
Let's talk about music and life and the trials and tribulations of life
And music.
and more music and more music and we'll talk about your book as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's rewind and go back all the way to the beginning of your career. When did the music bug hit you?
Well, I always say this, that music chose me at an early age.
Okay.
Because it did. I just was always singing, and my mom used to say I used to sing in the car with songs, and she'd say, how does she know this song when it's just been playing on the radio now? And I would just pick up the next verse, and I don't know why, I just could hear melody.
Okay.
I think melody makes sense to me, musically. My mother was a piano teacher. She was a concert pianist. She was a classically trained.
Okay.
And she tried to teach me piano, but I failed dismally. I didn't like learning to read it.
Yeah.
I used to pretend I could.
The admin.
Yeah, the admin. I'd pretend. So I'd play the thing because I was playing it by ear. And then the teacher would say, okay, go from here. And I'm like, what's that? Where's here? Just another little batch of fly shit on the paper, you know?
Rows and rows of it.
Yeah, rows and rows of fly shit. But you know what? I'm not saying it's a bad thing to learn to read. I just didn't, and it served me fine.
Yeah.
But everybody's different.
I'm sure it hasn't hindered your career
It hasn't
at
hindered.
all. Yeah.
But who knows if I would have been in some ways better or whatever, you know, because of it. So one never knows.
And then did you take up guitar at that
I did,
time?
yeah. My mom had a guitar. She was learning Spanish guitar, classical. And so I started working on I remember it was a Yamaha gut string guitar. It was my first guitar. So I started messing around with it. I was 10.
Okay.
And then I started working out songs. So my mom bought me a book of chords. And once you got the chords, you could start putting the little groupings together.
Yeah.
You know, like A, D, and E.
Yeah.
And suddenly I
haven't learned
hearing
those
these.
yet, but
Don't
yeah.
worry, they're not important.
Okay.
You know, nowadays it's like diminished sevenths and tormented 11ths. And
Tormented.
Demented Ds. Tormented.
And then when did you first get into songwriting?
Songwriting started shortly after that. I was about
Okay.
12 or 13.
Okay.
And I started having these ideas. And I said, oh, maybe I can write something. And they weren't very good in the beginning.
What were the themes of those songs? What were the lyrics?
I was writing about weird stuff. Like, I remember once I wrote something about an eagle on a mountain or something like that. It's one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
Ooh, or esoteric. And that was a bit of a hippie, you know?
Right,
Like
yeah.
peace and love, baby.
Yeah.
Everything had to be spiritual and emotional. I had a little medicine bag with things in it. And,
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I was one of
Typical
those kind of-
teenager, yeah.
Typical teenager with all our little weird stuff.
Yeah.
And then I started doing, like, I went to this guitar teacher, a wonderful guy.
Who was it?
His
Do
name
you
was
remember?
Eric Solomon. And used to play way back in the days with like Mel and Julian.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
Mel Miller, I think it was,
yeah.
and Julian Laxton.
Yeah.
And he was a guitarist with him. He was wonderful.
He must have been pretty good. Yeah.
He was very good.
Yeah.
He was a great guitarist.
Okay.
And so he took a shine to me in the way that he thought I could go out and start playing. That I was, just playing guitar, learning guitar with him was one aspect of it. So he started taking me to folk places like Troubadour and Dunkin' Donuts and places like that were around at the time. He also took me to a soiree of Des and Dawn Lindberghs. They used to have these soirees of a musician would come, and sometimes it was classical, sometimes it was pop or whatever.
And they were huge
They were
then.
huge.
Hey? Yeah,
They were the business,
Yeah.
And they would have it at their house in Halton. And it was absolutely like, I was so overwhelmed and, this was big stuff for me.
Yeah.
So he sort of guided me there. And then I started doing stuff on my own. Like, I would go to a coffee shop and say, hey, I play guitar. Can I come play here? Yeah. And they'd give me like 20 Rand or something or a free meal.
Yeah.
But I wasn't living out of my car, which was good. I was still living with my parents.
Okay.
So I wasn't a starving musician yet.
Yeah. So you carried on doing that for a few years.
Carried on doing that for a few years.
And then
I was still in school.
Yeah.
And then I joined this very heavy rock band in school, which was brilliant for me because up to then I'd be doing pop and folk. I wasn't sort of too much I loved rock. I mean, Led Zeppelin, Uriah Heep, Deep Purple. Those were my bands, and I was listening to crazy stuff, Mountain and Budgie and King Crimson.
That was good
stuff.
Yeah.
So I joined this band. They were all at varsity. They were older guys. And I was like about 15, still at school. And I didn't play guitar or anything. I was just a singer. And the lead singer. So I would do like a lot of harmonies and a couple of, I sang one of the Uriah Heep songs with him. But mainly it was them. We used to do socials.
Yeah.
And we used to do school matric dances and stuff.
Okay.
They threw us out of Rodin. We were so naughty. We were doing the
That's
matric
not like
dance.
you.
No, it's not like me at all. I'm such a good girl. But that was great because I was like playing. I learned to do the hard stuff.
Yeah.
So that gave me a kind of a grip on using my voice differently so that I was never like sort of a sweet singer, that kind of thing. I always had a bit of...
Hoyed.
Yeah, I always hoyed a bit. But then the rock thing taught me the rock angle of it.
Yeah.
And then I left school.
You finished school?
I finished school.
Yeah, good.
My father was like, you are going to give me a matric and then you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
He was very strict.
Yeah.
And damn it, I gave them a trick. I swear I don't know how I did it. I don't know. I was studying. We had a canoe on our pool. It was a little canoe. We had a big pool in our house. And I used to lie there. I was smoking in those days. A cold drink, my swatting books, suntan lotion all over me and swatting like Madame whatever.
Must have been exhausting.
It was exhausting. I don't even know how I did it. But I passed matric.
Okay.
Clunk, clunk, Yeah. And then I said, okay, now I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I looked for a job because I thought, I've got to start earning a bit of money and I want to get a car and all that stuff. And I found a job at a record company.
Pretty cool.
Very cool.
Which one?
It was Johnny Gibson.
Oh.
Now, Johnny Gibson was like from way back then, but he was just brilliant. Songwriter, singer. Him and his sister Marie used to do duets and country music mostly. Yeah. He was awesome.
Okay.
And Johnny took me on and he loved my voice. So he put me in the studio and I recorded a first single.
Yeah.
I was like 18.
Okay.
And he also got me on tour with Bobby Angel. So I opened for Bobby Angel on tour, a national tour.
Oh, cool.
So that was also learning the ropes,
Yeah.
learning how to do this. And after the Bobby Angel tour, I was asked to do another tour with the Bats and Mel Miller and Dennis Miller and a couple of other guys. We went to the border.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was up Angola.
Okay.
We went to, what was it called? Clout.
Okay.
And I went on a helicopter, and we popped over the border, and we saw Russian MiGs in Angola.
Wow.
And we almost got caught in a skirmish and blah, blah, blah. But it was so divine. I was the only woman around with all
And you
these
had to sing
men.
to all these
I had to
troops
sing to the troops
with all their tongues hanging
with
out.
all their art. And I was young, and I was such a kid. I was so naive.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of myself as a femme fatale or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, it was never like power of a woman. Woman can do all these things.
Yeah.
Never occurred to me that those kind of things existed in the world.
Yeah.
It took a long time for me to realize that, oh, there's a certain things that women can do to
Yeah.
get their way or whatever, but that never interested me.
Yeah, you just did your thing.
I always did the thing. I was always one of the boys, you know, because I was in the bands with boys, and there was always boys, and I was like, hey man, dude, you know. I was never like the chick in the band. So when they swore, I just join in. Imagine if every time they said something bad, I went, oh no, stop swearing. Oh, it would be just bloody pathetic. So anyway, I've got a worse potty mouth than most of them nowadays.
I don't believe you.
I swear, it's the truth. I believe you. I'm fail. I am very fail.
And then after that,
Okay, after
something big happened.
that, yes, I got a phone call. I think it was Flubber Gordon.
I don't know. I've
Okay,
heard the
brilliant bass player.
name. Yeah.
So Flub called me and says, hey, there's these girls looking for a chick to come and play in their band. They're starting an all-girl band. They want a rhythm player, maybe harmony singer. I said, okay, cool, I'll try it out. I went and I tried it out. And it was like, yeah, you can be in our band. I said, okay, cool, but I'm going around this tour for 2 weeks. I'll only be back. Oh no, we're starting rehearsals now, so you can't be in the band, so you're going to miss out, sorry. I said, oh, okay, and I took my guitar, and as I'm leaving, she says, but can we borrow your microphone? I said, only if I can be in the band. Oh, okay, you can be in the band, and I swear that's how I got into Clout. And it wasn't called Clout at the time.
What were they called?
They were called Queen Bee. So Glenda ran the band, and Glenda and Ingy had started it, and Lee, the three of them had started it, and Jenny and I joined on the same day.
Oh, was it the same day?
It was the same day. Jenny also came for her audition.
Yeah.
And Jenny was also a concert pianist, a taught classical pianist.
Yeah.
So she picked up on lead guitar beautifully.
Yeah.
And that was that. And then we started rehearsing, and we were terrible. We were really bad. We were really bad in the beginning. And then we got Mick J.
You were only bad for the first 4 years.
Yeah, no, and then the band broke up, so that was... And we got the Slug guide to come in, Mick J, who's awesome. He was also a great songwriter, wrote songs for the program with the Villagers, and he was just known guy.
Yeah.
And Mick came along and started knocking us into shape and get us to play together.
And he did that very quickly.
He did it very quickly because our manager, Graham Biggs, had decided, okay, we're going to go for this. I want to find a song that they must release a single soon.
Yeah.
So this was all happening. We were rehearsing at Ingy's house, and he was walking around one day. So I wasn't the lead singer. Glenda was the lead singer.
Yeah.
And he was saying, I'm hearing a voice. I want to hear, sing something. We went to Ingy. Sing something, went to Jenny. Sing something, went to Lee. And then he went to me. He says, that's the voice. I want you to sing a song. I said, okay, sure. I've been singing all my life. Who cares? Yeah. And from then on,
that was it.
That was it. I was the next. So it was Glenda and I sharing, singing. And then Substitute came along, the song, come into the studio. Graham said, look, we're going to see who, we're going to just do the both of you and we'll see whichever one works. And mine happened to work.
Yeah.
And the rest is almost history. So
now, and then how quickly did Substitute go huge internationally? It was within weeks, wasn't it?
Because it was the time of Mid-Am, you know, in Gyan. And every year, record companies would come together and sell and barter and, you know, trade and sell licensing, do licensing deals and everything. And
it was perfect timing.
It was perfect timing. Yeah. So Chris Kritzinger, also a music guy, he took the single because Graham Beggs, our manager, said, look, just take this and see if you can sell it. Wow, you never know. And boom, every territory bought it.
Yeah.
And we were signed by Career Records, who were France, Holland, Belgium, all those kind of countries. And then Deutsche Grammophon bought us in Germany. So within weeks of that song being released, it was going charting and getting to the top of the charts.
And I heard a rumor, is this true, that it went to number 2 in England only because number 1 was
Greece.
That's
It
right.
was.
That's right.
Number
Which
1
was
came,
just the
Greece
biggest
was
album
the biggest ever. I mean, it came out from like, you know, the movie came out,
Yeah.
and that song just came and knocked us off. And we were on number 2 for weeks.
Yeah.
And we thought, there's got to be a number 1
Come
here.
on.
It was like, you know, what was the Music Maker magazine? Melody Maker, that's right. Melody Maker, and all those men, they all go, is Clout going to do it again? Is Clout going to get to know what? And we were all like, it would have been amazing. But we'd already been number 1 in Germany,
everywhere
for weeks,
else in
and
Europe, yeah.
Holland and Sweden, and then we went to New Zealand and Israel and
then,
all over the place.
All right, so you guys had to get your proverbial shit together
Absolutely,
and get ready to
really
tour.
quick. Now, the first tour wasn't live. It was all TV tour.
Okay.
And the TV tours were for every artist that had a number 1 single. So we were working with Gloria Gaynor, Boney M, Sting and the Police, Van Halen, Kiss, Dire Straits, Supertramp, name them, anybody you can name. Blondie, the Buggles. I mean, everybody that was out there at the time. We were all doing these TV shows together.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. One of my favorite bands I didn't mention was Thin Lizzy.
Right.
And Phil Lynott and I kind of had a vibe going, and we ended up spending a lot of time together. It was a few days.
Okay.
And then we moved on. And
did you keep up with his drinking?
I couldn't. But we did spend a night in my hotel room where he drank everything in my bar. And I had to pay for it. It was like, oopsie. He drank my bar in the room dry. Everything.
Finished.
Every little bottle of champagne, soda water. He didn't care what it was.
Oh, that's so cool.
But it was very cool.
Yeah.
And then we'd party afterwards. So all our record companies would take all of us out for dinner. So we'd all end up at similar restaurants and hanging out and doing all these things.
Fantastic.
It was very free time. It was the, 78, 79,
Great time.
disco era.
Yeah.
People were like going, oh, but we don't care.
Well,
you know?
I mean, look, rock was out, disco was out, punk was out.
Everything was
just do
happening.
whatever you want. Yeah.
It was a free-for-all,
Yeah.
and it was beautiful
Yeah.
because whatever you wanted to do was fine.
Yeah.
Everybody was free.
And then after the TV stuff, you had to start. Then you did.
Then we did a live
all
tour.
the live
Then it
tours
was
of
like,
Europe.
yeah. And that after that first TV tour, Glenda left the band,
Yeah.
and we got the 2 guys in. The 2 guys had played on
Sandy
the
and
Clouds,
Gary.
yes,
Yeah.
Sandy and Bones.
Oh, sorry, Bones
Right,
first.
yes, first, and Gary joined us
Yeah.
later. So they were in a band called Circus,
Yeah.
and Circus
It was a cool band.
was a very good band,
Yeah.
and they did all the tracks on the first and second Clout album
Right.
because we weren't really quick enough.
Yeah.
We could have done it slowly, but we weren't quick enough. And they wanted that
studio
album
time
out.
was
Studio
essence
time
back
and all
then,
that,
yeah.
yeah. So it was a natural choice. And they really added that full-on credibility to the band. Because everybody up to there was, oh, look at these 5 chicks and they're so cool. And and then suddenly we were like this really good rock band.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay. And then we were doing Germany and we were headlining. So bands were opening for us, which was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
We were doing big, like 45,000 seaters and 60,000 and then 10,000 and all these big shows, small shows.
Yeah.
And we were pop stars, man. The limos would pick us up, take us to the hotel with flowers and chocolates and motor. I thought, this is like, wow,
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
spectacular. But being a pop star is not all it's cracked up to be, let me tell you. Because if that's all you want, if that's all that it is, that, hey, I just want to be on stage and let them do everything they want and just keep me on stage and give me the money and fine. But everybody knows the story of Clout, that the manager was taking our money.
Yeah.
And we ended up with nothing, and eventually we're working our asses off. We're number one all over the world. We are doing these amazing tours. We're playing. I was exhausted. One tour was 3 months long.
Cool.
It's a long tour.
Yeah.
Like nearly every day, driving in that baby bus, Berlin and Hamburg, and then all around then to Holland. And I'm not poo-pooing it and saying being on tour is not great, but it's hard work.
Yeah.
Being on tour, you ask any band, being on tour is hard work.
Yeah. Seriously.
You've got to
you
be
mentally
on it
physically.
all the time. You know, and I was a kid. I was 22, 21, 22, 23 by the time it ended.
Yeah. So the Clout chapter ended, unfortunately.
Very
And then
sadly.
And then you went on and formed the Cindy Alter Band.
Yes, Cindy Alter Band followed, and Cindy Alter Band became Zia.
Zia.
Yes.
Was this you purposely went into that kind of African themed pop
Yes.
thing? Was that different from Cindy Alter Band?
Yeah, Cindy Alter Band
Was more
was just
normal.
a cover band.
Yeah.
All we were doing was the long-term 6-month residency in pubs and clubs and stuff like that, which all the bands were doing.
Yeah.
So we had a pig and whistle for 6 months, and 3 months here and 3 months there, and 6 months, and then go to Durban and all that. We were all doing the circuit.
Yeah.
And Patrick, our drummer, was very much, like, he was very political. He saw what was going on in the country, and he said, I think we should go that way. And he actually auditioned when Johnny's drummer left. Patrick auditioned for Johnny's band.
Okay. All right.
Because
So,
Johnny had started already.
yeah. Okay.
And if he'd gotten it, it would have been great for him.
Yeah.
Would have been really great for him. But he didn't get the gig, but he said, I think that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
And it's going to be different, of course, we're not copying Johnny Clegg, but we want to be a multiracial band. We want to be a multicultural band.
It makes sense.
And not only that, we want to mix the sort of African pop with some white rock.
Yeah.
So we'd have these big blaring solos, and then we'd have these 3 Zulu dancers doing all that stuff. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, and well, it was different to what Johnny
It was
doing.
totally
Yeah.
different. And then Mango Groove came along, and they were doing something completely different,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So there was space for everybody. We were all doing the shows, the concerts. The Rand show was a huge thing.
Yeah.
The Rand
That
show
was
would
the
give you,
gig,
that was
right?
the gig.
Yeah.
Get on the Rand show gig, you play for like the whole stint of the Rand show, 14 days or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome.
Nice.
Great
Nice.
times, you know.
Yeah. And then was it around that time that you ended up leaving SA?
Yes, exactly.
When was that? The late
So,
80s?
yes, I left
Yeah.
South Africa. We'd just gone on tour to France on a,
With Zia.
yes, Zia, and it was a whole tour called Franchement Zulu. And it was brilliant. It was Zia and Chico and Stimela and Lucky Dube, I think, was also on it.
Okay,
A bunch
cool.
of these, you know, mixed bands. It was just beautiful. And we were doing this tour in France, and we were asked, when we got back to Paris, we were asked by a record company who wanted to open for the Bee Gees. And it's like, oh no, man, don't be ridiculous. Of course! It's like, oh my God,
Let me think
we're
about
open
it,
for the
yes.
Bee Gees, yeah. So we were like, oh my God, we're really going to open for them. And it's
Wow.
a huge venue. Bercy is a huge sports arena there, thousands of people in there. Don't know what it takes, 50,000, maybe 20,000, I don't know. It was awesome, it was packed out. And we opened for the Bee Gees, and they loved us. They were standing and watching us. I turned around at this one point, I turned around to the band, I was doing a dance, I saw Robin, Barry, and Marie standing there watching us. I thought, oh Christ, I can't see this. I mustn't look at this. I'll just keep going, just keep singing and playing.
Sure, that's
So
cool.
it was cool. They wanted to meet us afterwards. I met
Okay.
Barry Gibb, I met all of them, and I was like, oh, and Chester Thompson was playing for them.
Oh, wow.
Ah, please, you know.
Yeah, one of the
So one of
greatest
the best.
ever.
All their musicians were just like
Yeah.
top of the class.
Yeah.
And so that was very cool. We get back to South Africa after the tour.
Did you tell Barry and Robin, and then that you irritated with it? Didn't they write the Grease soundtrack?
Yeah, I should have told them about that. Damn it.
See,
It was you bosses
you
that kept
kept
us
on
off
number one.
And I never thought of that. I should have told them.
I think the guys wrote some of that
I don't know if they
stuff.
wrote the You're the One That I Want. I don't know. I think they did Saturday Night Live. all that stuff.
Oh, Saturday Night Fever.
Not Saturday Night Live. Jesus, I'm really good.
No, that is Saturday Night Fever Andrews. Anyway,
Maybe. Possible.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
write in the comments below who did it.
Yeah, please do. Write in the comments below. So we get back to Johannesburg, and our manager calls us. And he says, listen, we've just had a fax. In those days it was a fax.
Yeah.
We've had a fax from the Bee Gees manager. They want you to open for them on their world tour. And I was like, okay, this is it. I'm back on the world stages. Here we go again. Here we go. And our record company said, oh, sorry, we can't pay for that. And I swear to God, my heart broke. It just tore into pieces. And I sat there and I went, I can't be here anymore. If a record company has such small vision of a band that could really do well, opening for the Bee Gees, how many records we would have sold?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, the word would have gotten out.
Yeah.
We would have done very well.
Yeah.
Because we were crossover enough. We weren't too African or too rock.
Yeah.
You know, it was nice in the middle.
Yeah.
Literally, my heart broke. And I said, that's it. I'm done. And I went to live in America.
Okay, you packed the bags.
I packed my bags. It took me 6 months.
Yeah.
Pay everything off,
Yeah.
save some money for the ticket. And I went to LA in 1990 with $3,000 in my pocket and my guitar and 2 suitcases. That was it. I was 33 years old.
Sure. Okay.
Started a new journey.
Wow.
Nobody knew who I was.
So you had to start from scratch.
Yeah, from scratch, because nobody really knew who I was. A few people, oh yeah, I remember Club. It was like fucking 12 years ago, as you said, like way back. And people things were different then. America, already the change was coming. So all the big record companies were being bought out by each other, and everybody was buying everybody else out. So from 30 record companies came down to like 6 major record companies.
Yeah.
And people were going indie. Indie was becoming the new norm.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, there was all this like new sound coming out, the grungy thing. And of course there was the pop thing. They were signing fetuses, like young, the Britney Spears and her forthcoming children. And and anybody she thought of having. And Backstreet Boys and all that. So that was happening. And there wasn't, the singer-songwriter thing had just started. And this one company, I had a meeting with them, they loved me. But they said, oh, but there's another girl with a 12-string, her name's Melissa Etheridge.
Oh my God,
and I'm like, but America's quite big. You can have 2 girls with 12 strings. Isn't that all right? Okay. No, it's not all right.
She's narrow-minded, eh? Wow.
Narrow-minded, yes. Believe it or not. As we think Americans are so open-minded, they're not. They're not. They are very, stick with what works.
Safe.
Be safe, stick with what works. I don't want to go too far out the box. I don't want to experiment too much. We are the music business, and we are in America, and we make money, and it's big business.
Yeah.
So I started from scratch, and I started booking myself as a singer-songwriter all over town, and then I started booking other artists, and then I would run a show. So I'd maybe play on the show, maybe I'd just have 3 other singers and songwriters on the show. So it was always about the singer-songwriter thing. We used to do the Nashville thing, the songwriters in the round, and all that kind of stuff. I was also playing with a really nice band of guys that I'd put together along the way. So I was doing a couple of things, and I was working during the day because I couldn't earn enough as a musician.
Yeah, it's tough.
And it was hard, and it was okay. I got married. I was dating my bass player, and I had a rule: do not do any interband. You know, there's never again, because I did it once and I screwed up. And then I broke my own rules, so I had to marry him.
It's fine. It's fine if you marry him.
If you married, it's okay. Oh, thank you for the permission. So I was married. I was working. I was playing at least 3 times a week. I was writing a lot. Recorded an album. I got to see lots of great music. We had a friend.
Are all your albums available?
Yes.
Okay.
They're all on iTunes.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
I've got a website, cindyalter.com.
cindyalter.com.
Yeah.
Good.
So you can see where you can get them, and they're all on iTunes and
Okay.
Spotify and on most of the stuff
Okay,
out
good.
there.
Good.
Yeah. So I had to move with the times, eh?
Yeah, yeah. And then
yes.
So you were in LA for how long?
15 years.
15 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And why did you decide to come back?
In 2002, I got cancer. I got leukemia.
Diagnosed in America.
Diagnosed in America. I was
Stage 4,
Stage 4,
I heard, yes.
acute myelogenous leukemia. White cells are just taking over the whole body, and leukemia is a cancer of the bone marrow.
Okay.
And bone marrow makes your blood.
Yeah.
So if your blood is being made wrong, it's all going haywire.
Okay.
And so the doctors hit me hard. They said, look, if we can get you into remission now, we've got a chance. But if we don't, then we probably haven't got a chance. I said, do what you got to do, you know. I wanted to live, if possible.
Tell us about, you were telling me off camera about your time in hospital. Tell me about your personal, I think you called it your friendship
Yes.
with cancer. Tell us about those times.
You know, anybody who gets sick, you know, you're in the room with that sickness. People visit, doctors are there, people are there, but nobody can take it on. Only you can. And so for me, it was like, it was me and cancer in that room. And we had this understanding. You leave me alone and I'll leave you alone. If you start messing with me, I will mess with you. So of course cancer can't help itself. It wants to mess with you. It wants to kill you because that's what cancer does. And I just wouldn't let it. So every time it got me really, really bad and sick, I just went quiet. I didn't scream and shout. I just went quiet and I said, you haven't got anything on me, dude.
You're not going to do this. You're not going to win.
Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm not fighting you. I'm not coming berserk. But my warrior, my inner warrior, was at full attention. Spear, shield, war paint, every day.
And I don't want to get into a religious discussion. Are you religious at all? Was this like,
It's a spiritual
did a
experience.
higher power help you through this?
I believe, yeah.
Yeah,
I have great faith in something bigger than us. Whatever that may be, God, the universe, higher power. I've always had faith in something. So for want of a better name, I've said God. You know, God, can you help me through this? But I also know that you can't expect anybody else to help you through things. But believing that somebody might be able to is a great comfort.
Yeah, and motivates you.
It motivates you, and having faith in something is a comfort. So I mentioned this on a little interview I did now with Sam Cowan, that I've done yoga for a very long time. I've been doing yoga for like 25 years. And that helped me a lot. Because it's a spiritual quietness that you can come to, that you just go, okay, I'm here.
Yeah.
This is where I am. So it's like being in, one of my worst positions in yoga is down dog. Don't ask, I'll show you later. But you're in down dog and you're like, you're holding down dog and they just let you hold and hold and hold. It's like, Jesus, if I don't get out of this down dog shit, I'm going to freak out and scream. But you just breathe and you hold and you hold. And eventually you say, okay, now go into plank or whatever. And you kind of go, oh, thank God, you know.
Yeah.
But you held.
Yeah.
And you forced yourself to hold. And you breathed. And you just stayed in the moment. And that's what yoga taught me.
Yeah.
To quiet the mind and stay in the moment. And that helped me a lot. Lying in that hospital bed, I was, not only were you in emotional, physical pain, so it was both. It was emotional and physical pain.
Yeah.
You are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Extremely uncomfortable. There are pipes in you. There are noises around you all the time. Your
beeping
and your noise, and then they come in. They got to take blood. They got to do this. Oh, your platelets are bad. We've got to give you platelets. Oh, there's always something happening.
Yeah.
There's no peace
Yeah.
in a hospital room until they knock you out with something. Just give me something, knock me out, please, because I can't stand this anymore. I can't stand being in this discomfort.
Yeah.
You know, and that's hard, and I would just like have to force myself and just breathe. It's okay. This is going to pass. It's going to pass. But at times it was very hard to bear. After my transplant, that was the worst time. That transplant, I don't know how people make it out of there. It is hectic. Stu?
Well, look at you.
I know.
16 years in remission.
16 years.
And when I met you, you'd just come.
I had just come back.
Just come out of from America and just come out of remission. And I just always remember hearing your story then, and just remembering how positive you were, and how strong you were. And I really respect it. I've always respected that about you. So
thank you.
Well done.
Thank you
well
very
done.
much.
Beat the cancer.
Yeah, you know.
And now, what are you up to nowadays?
I'm a busy little bee.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like I've got things to do, damn it.
And you do them. You are super busy, aren't you?
I'm super busy, thank goodness. People still book me. They still want to hear me.
Yeah.
I travel quite a bit. I go to Europe at least once a year now.
Yeah.
So I've opened this Europe door again, and that's been really quite special for me.
Are you doing it solo?
So I'm doing
just
it
you
solo,
and your guitar?
But I'm doing a show in Belgium, and there's going to be a backing band there for me.
Yeah, cool.
So, and then I'm doing 3 shows in England, solo, and then 4 shows in Germany with a small band as well, 3-piece band, German guys.
When is that happening?
This is all happening in 2 weeks' time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've been trying to it's August, man, and it's only February now.
No, it's like
March.
crunch.
Badum. It's 2 weeks.
Awesome.
And, you know, just as I said, I just got to keep staying relevant in what I do. For me, you know, like trying different things. It's not like I consciously say, okay, you better revise your look. Maybe you should do this. It's not like a conscious thing.
Yeah.
I just be going along, think, you know what, I need a change. I feel like something different.
Well, you're a creative, artistic person. I think
suppose,
it almost comes naturally to you, and it's almost like...
It's part of the thing, hey?
Yeah.
We're artists.
I'm not.
You know, yes, you are.
I'm not.
Damn it, you're a musician.
I'm just a guitar player.
Come on. You're a musician, and you've got so much creativity about you.
Thank you.
I mean, you have. Of course you have.
I haven't written a song since I was 19.
So, who in the rule book says you must write songs all the time in order to be considered a songwriter? You know, there are people in America that wrote one song in 1952, and their family are still living off that song.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
mine were bad, though.
I don't think so. I don't believe.
I wrote the world's worst song once.
Listen.
I'll play it to you one day.
Please play it to me. Can I tell you if it's the world's worst?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Tell us about your book.
Okay, so my book, for years people have
When
been
did it
saying
come
to
out?
me,
2015?
So for years people were saying, God, Cindy, the story, oh my God, you've been backwards and forwards. I mean, you could teach kids and people in the music business about the music. You could teach women who have been in terrible abusive relationships about the beauty. You could teach people who've had cancer, or maybe they know somebody who's got cancer, or something about that. You've got so many big stories, you know.
Yeah.
Why don't you just put it all down? So I started making notes way back when I was still in America.
Okay.
I had a little journal.
Well done for doing that.
And this was my book, you know. Yeah, you know, I think everybody should journal.
Then they don't, especially nowadays.
Journaling is like, to me, it's my life. You say, oh no, I'll just put some notes on my phone.
Yeah.
It's a different thing when you journal.
Yeah.
You know, I've written journals since I was about 13 years old, and I've got all of them.
Wow, brilliant.
And imagine, like, sometimes I'll go back to one and I'll just look, say, geez, where was I at And sometimes you're probably in the same bloody place you were at that time than you are
Yeah.
now. You go, haven't I grown at least a little bit?
The
You
more
know?
we change, the more we don't.
100%. You know, and we all think about these big, transformations and everything, and there are big transformations.
But
basically,
we're still the same people. We're still 13 years old inside, aren't we?
I get my people from school saying, "Hey, Cindy, you remember me from school? You're still the same as you were at school."
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't look anything like I used to look when I was at school, number one. And also, like, how do you even remember that? And to them, they remember that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, I'm almost glad that I'm the same person.
Yeah, yeah.
So the book came of that, and it was also cathartic for me. It was very good for me to
Absolutely.
put it down
Yeah,
and to
yeah,
like be done with it.
Yeah,
I'm done with all that stuff.
like an album that you've always wanted to make that
Thank
you couldn't, or something like that.
Thank you.
So is your book available on your website?
My book is not available on my website at this time. I sell my book by myself, but there will be details that people can just
Okay,
contact me.
we'll put those details in the description below. It's called No Substitute, and it's an amazing read.
Thank you.
We've run out of time.
Okay, I get it. And so much time still to be
We need to go drink tequila now.
Okay, yay!
Although I
Jesus.
don't drink tequila.
No, there will not be a tequila drinking tonight. I've
No.
got work to do still.
Okay.
Too much.
Okay.
And I've got to pee. Don't leave that on.
I've got to pee too.
Okay. 2 peas don't make a right.
Cindy, thank you. Thank you for joining me, and all the best for your tour coming up.
Thank you so much, and thanks for supporting musicians and being so amazing with everything that obviously in the store and available, and helping people out, and that's so amazing.
Oh, cool,
Your
cool.
contribution, everybody's contribution is big.
We'll all try and do something.
Being of service
Try and
is
get
a
the
great
industry.
thing. Yes,
Yeah.
being of service.
Lekker. Thank you so much. All right, guys, that's all for now. Please remember to hit the subscribe button, and
See you next week.
see you next week.